Welcome home. Come. I'm very excited to have with me today Sharda Kelkar. She's the director for Museum of Goa, and I'm excited to discuss art, wellness, and so many other discussions with her. Welcome, Sharda.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Very interesting question for me, I think. I'm very curious to know this from you. Before we discuss wellness, I'd like to know what has art meant to you personally over the years?
I think for me, initially art was always about aesthetics. It was about beauty. It was about how it looked. But over time, I think I've understood that art has a higher purpose. Art has multiple functions. And one of the key functions of art for me was always of how it's helped me understand myself and understand the world around me better. So it's almost like a language of understanding the world around you. So now art has slowly become something that has moved from aesthetics to meaning making. What is this work saying? What does it make me feel? What does it tell me about the world? So I think over time I see that transition that has taken place, and also with just reading about art, hearing different people, especially a poet and a critic called Ashok Vajpayee, who really talks about how art is not just an object or a painting or a sculpture, but it is almost like a way of life, a way of seeing the world around you.
So was there a time, a moment maybe, where you felt that museums and cultural spaces can also become spaces for building connection, community and healing?
So the Museum of Goa, for example, we started about 10 years back, and the idea was to build a space where it brings people and connect them and engage them with art and history. And I think we've always called ourselves not a repository of objects but a laboratory of ideas, where it's a space where you're not just coming to see art, but you're coming to think for yourself, you're coming to reflect on those ideas, you're there to discuss with each other, to dialogue, to converse with each other. And every day, the 200 people who visit us, we are building that community over the years of people who are curious about culture, of people who are curious about art. And I think the motive essentially was always to build that community, a space where they feel that they belong. I think as an objective, it was definitely to build that community, and people come in there and find that connection, So like you said, museums are not just these spaces, but they're spaces that can bring that connection, bring that sense of belonging.
Yeah, and I feel that every time I visited, even though there are art pieces which are so powerful, I've never felt intimidated. I felt like I belonged, and I felt very earthed.
Yeah.
So I think this intention with which you all created the space is absolutely, truly there. I'd like to ask you that people, when they talk about wellness, they usually think of movement, nutrition, sleep, hydration, right, recovery. So where does art fit in all of this?
I think art nourishes something beyond the body, right? It nourishes your spirit, it nourishes imagination. And I think that is as important as the body, right, and the mind. So I think when you look at wellness in that limited sense, it's just about my exercise and what I eat. But art really helps you connect with a sense of spirit. It is not essentially about what you see, but what you cannot see, but you can imagine, right? So I think art feeds into that and helps you nourish that side of you, a side that is very essential to human existence. And Ashok Vajpayee in a way puts across that as it helps you encounter the mystery of existence. Sometimes we don't know we need it, but we do need it. When you hear that song, you listen to that music, or you read a book, it changes something in you, right? It changes something inside you, and it is for that you need to be connected with the arts.
I love that, what you just said, because I've never thought like that. What you're trying to tell me is that art can help me connect to my higher consciousness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it can help me connect to that part of me which is unlimited, which is sort of infinite,
Yeah.
right? Because that's who we really are,
Yeah,
right?
the multiple possibilities that
Yes.
exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, like, sometimes we look at art as a form of luxury, but the way Mr. Vajpayee also articulate it is like it's almost like a fundamental need for humans, and it's the way, it's not about going to an art gallery that is the purpose, but it's about being somebody who is resonating with the arts as a whole, whether it's music, literature, dance, visual arts, anything.
Why do you think so many adults stop engaging with art as they grow older?
I think when we're kids, we look at art as a form of expression. We pick up the colors. We don't think of who's looking at us painting, what we are creating. We're expressing. We're just out there to create. But as adults, we slowly start looking at creativity as a skill. We start measuring it. Am I good at this? Can I draw a straight line? Is my color correct? Am I doing the shades correctly? So we start measuring creativity and we start judging ourselves, which is what stops us from creating, because then we're not letting the process, not feeling the process, and we're only thinking of the outcome. Is this a good work or a bad work? But that's not the point. The point of creativity is to explore. The point of creativity is to iterate. Even in the idea of design thinking, for example, we say that the more mistakes you make, the more failures you have, the better you get at it. So creativity is also a skill that you can nurture, right? And therefore, I think as we grow older, we forget that we were all once children, and we all painted and created so freely without thinking of any judgments or any kind of outcome. So often we forget that the process is more important than the outcome. Yeah.
According to you, why is community such a big element in culture, creativity, wellness?
So I think when we look at community with respect to cultures such as the traditions, rituals, festivals, they're all created by a community, so communities create cultures. When it comes to wellness, I think often, at least in my understanding, the way we see the world today, it's so much about self-care that we sometimes forget that we're not isolated from the world around us, and that we live with others and we live in a larger society. So for me, wellness is not just about your own self, but it's about others, and it's about a larger society that you also have to look after. So I think the idea of caring for each other, the idea of us as human beings who are such social animals, need to feel belong to something larger than ourselves, out of ourselves, right? And I think that's where community plays such a major role. We need to belong to each other, not just to the families that we live in, but strangers outside of us, within Goa, outside of Goa, in India and around the world.
Yes.
So as a whole, we should feel all belonged together, and community in that sense plays such an important role to understand yourself, therefore the world around you.
What you also gently touched upon is the idea of oneness,
Yeah.
which I think the world needs so much right now.
Yeah.
Because there are so many polarities now,
Yeah.
right? And when you said it's about giving,
Yeah.
it's also not just about self-care.
Yeah.
I resonate with that very deeply because, for me, wellness is not just about the way I'm looking, or if my movement is done, or if my nutrition is done and stuff. I think it's also about how abundant I am so that I am able to give,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because the more we give, the more we nourish ourselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, when the world around you is burning, when there are wars happening on one side, there's poverty on the other, how can you detach yourself from those realities of the world as well, right? So I think community therefore plays such an important role to also realize the responsibility that we as humans have for one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So children today consume a lot of content, on social media, but they create not as much. So does that concern you?
Definitely, I think it's very concerning because it's quite a mindless consumption. You're just continuously scrolling and looking, and you don't know, you're not really observing, you're not really consuming it in the right way, I would say. And I think the more we avoid and stop this screen time, it's better for all of us, not just children, but I think all of us, even as adults. We've really got hooked on to this phone, and I see that even in my life. The number of hours I'm spending on just aimlessly on the phone and unknowingly, which is the worst part, is concerning even for me. And we need to find other ways to keep our child engaged or let them just be bored, because boredom allows you for to bring out new ideas and new possibilities. So I think we rather stick to boredom than give a child a phone.
Yeah, I think parents are more afraid of their child being bored than the child themselves. And being a parent, I have realized the n number of times when so earlier it used to overwhelm me as well, because my children would keep getting bored.
Yeah.
And then I did not know what to do, so I would try and entertain them.
Yeah.
And then I read somewhere, I understood that if you're bored is the times, and I also observed that after a while, after they got bored, they discovered something which was coming from within themselves. Some play, some activity, something that that was an extension of them.
Yeah.
So I stopped the overstimulation and stopped trying to entertain them. And I actually said that, the times when we are most bored are the times when we can we are basically sitting with ourselves.
Yeah.
And then coming up with something to do.
Yeah.
So it's also about so much emphasis on doing versus being, right? Boredom has everything to do with that, right?
True.
Yeah, because we just don't know how to be anymore.
Yeah.
So in Kaizen, we've just started with an entire segment of mindful art. And again, the whole purpose is to help people feel more regulated and be in touch with their emotions, right? So what do you feel about mindful art, and how do you think that can help people connect themselves better?
I think that's a great initiative to start, and I think everybody should get an opportunity to immerse themselves with art. I think a lot of us take a step back because we think we're not good artists, so we're not as creative, which is an inherent barrier that we create for ourselves. So I think firstly it will just help us break that barrier and immerse ourselves in doing some form of art, that eventually, if you don't look at it as something that you want an outcome from, and just enjoy the experience of doing it and the process, then I think it's very beneficial for anybody who's engaging with it. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very curious to know, for you, in your daily life, what does wellness from within look like?
I think for me, the things that I do to feel good, to connect with myself, I think music is my first go-to. I listen to a lot of music. I like to go for walks, especially on the beaches or anywhere within the neighborhood that I live in Saligaon. But otherwise, I'm also, I really like exercising. So I think any kind of movement really helps me in that sense. I would really like to spend more time in, doing exercises that help me rest, help me calm down in many ways away and not think of so many things that I want to do. But I think that's a path that I am yet to walk.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's very interesting. And I think that's a lot of our lives as well, right? We're constantly juggling with so many things that as much as we want to, we all are now looking for forms of movement which we can feel more rested and aligned than exerted and stressed. Right?
Thank you so much, Prerna, for having me.
This was so wonderful. I loved our conversation.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.